この俺が人間なんだ。
Alright, so in this one, I'm going to be going over this Japanese player, and it's not the same guy that I usually go over, just a different Japanese player. I'm pretty sure it's a top-ranked player, because I was linked to this video. Obviously, I don't understand it because it's fucking Japanese, but with the help of subtitles and some help of other people, it's a very high-ranking Japanese player who is very good at the game. This is his color tier list of the top 5 units of each color, obviously pertaining with the leader slot, leader update rather, and everything all encompassing in between that. And he did it for every color, so I want to go over it just because I'm curious. I'm not a terrible player, so I feel like my opinion rating it is valid. And I am assuming here, because most JP players do rate at this, it's going to be 14 stars. You're not rating this at 9 stars, 7 stars, 11 stars, 14 stars for everything. And that's the peak pinnacle that where you're rating everyone, because most Japanese players do have 14 stars just because they spend a lot on the game. Japanese players definitely make up about, what, I think it's 70, if not 60% of this game's income. So having everything 14 stars is pretty easy for them. But to look at this, I don't think the colors are in order, by the way, from like, okay, red's the strongest because it's first. No, I think it's just in random order. Because just looking at the units in it, I just don't see the value in, like, let's say red being number 1 here, because that was the first thing he showed, being the best, right? It's most likely not. But, and this is with Super Judo, right? Because Super Judo is on this. So this is like up-to-date new. The video came out just like 7 hours ago, so let's look. Okay. FSK number 1, CMZ number 2, 8 Vegeta number 3, Red Bojack number 4, and Red Gogeta number 5. Okay, so I get why FSK is number 1, because FSK still can be a behemoth if, you get that last man stand, you have no one that's going to cancel his buffs, and in general, he's still a good unit. I just don't see his value as much. I'm sure if a JP player make a tier list, and I'm going to go over a JP player's tier list tomorrow, they wouldn't value FSK as, like, number 1 in the game, but with his utility, I guess you could call it, with like Blue Goku or on different teams or PPR hybrids, he is going to be busted beyond belief. That is probably the only team I think FSK actually is like a candidate for Z tier, but besides that, I don't think FSK touches anywhere near Z tier. I personally, I would put Red Bojack as number 1 for leader unit for Red, but that's just me. Like, I'm not thinking, okay, who's top 5 this color of leader? Like, I'm not thinking like that. I know FSK is a better unit than Bojack, but Bojack's a better leader than FSK for the utility he offers, in my opinion. Corrupted Bird Zamasu, I would say he's good for this meta. I would probably have him number 2 as well, just because you pop that main ability, you obviously have a lot of endurance units with Sword of Hope Trunks. Corrupted Bird Zamasu can also go neutral on his green card for 3 counts. So you do have good usability there. He is pretty squishy, even at 14 stars, he is going to be squishy compared to a lot of other units. But he definitely isn't bad. I honestly have been sucking him off for, a little bit of months here now, and I do see his value. Yeah, I would say he's a good spot for there. Number 3, 8 Vegeta. 14 star 8 Vegeta definitely hits different than a 6 star. And obviously I'm, thinking 6 star because most people, NA players, are going to have him 6 stars, right? But a 14-star Ape definitely is a lot. Like, he does good damage to blue units at 14, right? At 6-star, he does okay, but, like, 14, he's peaking out. I would say he's okay. We do have a lot of we don't have a lot of anti-endurance. We don't have a lot of revival units in the meta for him to anti-revive against, is really the issue, because who's really running around that's a revival right now? Maybe Revival Gohan, but, like, any other revival unit running around? Like, who am I seeing more? Goku Vegeta or Revival Gohan? Goku Vegeta. I'm seeing Goku Vegeta on every fucking team in the game, right? He does have anti-endurance on, what, his ult, I believe? I don't know. I just don't feel like his value is that high, but I guess if we are thinking, like, red is a down bad color right now, I guess it's okay to put him there. I don't think there's really much replacements is the problem. Bojack I already spoke on, and then Red Gogeta. Red Gogeta is super overrated, man. I don't know where this value comes from. 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 I don't know where this value comes I'm trying to think of other reds, and I just can't because there's really no other reds to think of. I guess Red Gogeta makes this, but it's like saying, okay, Super Saiyan Bardock is, you know, middle of S tier, when in reality, like, his team is, like, you know, pretty ass, right? Like, he's making it that high because himself, not because his team. Red Gogeta is the opposite. His teams, let's say, I guess, Saiyans, is top tier, but, like, his unit himself is very overrated. That's just my take on him. Next color is blue. Sword of Hope Trunks at number 1. Yeah, see, everyone's 14 stars here. I don't know how Kid Boo's so low, but everyone else 14 stars here. Sword of Hope Trunks number 1. Namek Goku number 2. Bardock number 3. Bardock number 3? Why? Were you leader slotting? I never get that. I always hear people say Bardock's a good leader slot unit. I don't get that. So let's say, okay, I don't know, for example, like Yellow Broly, he's not gonna support Bardock, but if Bardock's leader slot, sure, he'll get an HP bench, but is that it? Like, that type of scenario where it's like, that's a Super Saiyan, but they don't buff Saiyans or Super Saiyans, so then they're fine with Bardock being... I never get that. Because, again, I'm factoring leader slot here, and I just don't understand Bardock's value as a leader. Maybe it's just me. Kid Buu 4, then Vegito Blue 5. So Sword of Hope, obviously the best blue in the game right now. It's not really a debate. He does everything. Man goes neutral. Now, you know, he has the best type of neutrality. It's not like, okay, FSK has neutrality when you pop his main. No, it's Trunks gets neutral on the ultimate itself, right? So it's not like you can cancel his neutral because he's getting it when he does that card. Getting it on the card is better because it's uncancelable at that point, right? Because how are they going to cancel out your ultimate? Like, unless someone does, like, a long-range ultimate, and then you pop your main ability with, like, LF Kid Buu, or, you know, some bullshit like that, then they can't cancel it out. But that's, like, such a rare situation that it won't even ever happen, right? Sword of Hope Trunks definitely is the best blue in the game. One of the best leaders in the game, probably, just because of how good he is. His value with the boost, his value just in general of being one of the best units in the game, right? Namek Goku, I see it, leader-wise, at least, because the ability, again, this is factoring everything, right? Like, you don't make these lists if you're not factoring in everything in the game. I'm not thinking of Bardock as a leader unit, but I'm thinking of Bardock as an overall unit. I kind of get his value, right? Namek Goku, goated Z ability, obviously double attack for Saiyans or Super Saiyans, so a lot of hybrids are going to get that effect, like Revival Gohan kind of gets that. One of the best units in the game, especially if you're good with him. If you're mediocre, he's going to look mediocre. He is the most skill-dependent unit in the game, and people will say this and kind of laugh at it, but it's also true because if you're actually skilled in Namek Goku, and you don't just backfloat, then he's very skill-dependent, right? If you're just backfloating, you're going to be easy to read, easy to predict, and most Namek Goku players are just going to suck. But a lot of top-tier Japanese Namek Goku players, this guy I'm assuming is one of them, is going to make Namek Goku look like the best unit in the game, if not a top 3 unit, because you learn how to play him, you know how to use him, he's a top-tier option, if you are good with him, which is not easy to do. Bardock is a very good individual unit. I do find his team restrictions to be very overwhelming. If I were to rate him myself, you know, Namek Goku and Sword Hope I would keep there. I would say Kid Buu is higher, only because, and well, I do think Kid Buu's a better unit, it's only because Super Saiyans is so RNG. I just don't like the idea of an RNG-based team, and I agree with, like, Super Vegito Zenkai, it really amps up Super Saiyans, right? You have that, I mean, you could run Blue, Purple, Purple with Revival Gohan, Super Vegito, and Bardock, and have some sustainability with Revival Gohan there. You can run Blue, Purple, Yellow with Future Gohan, have a lot of fucking support, and make Super Vegito nuke to hell. But it's such an RNG-based team where if you don't get those crits, you know, I'm not saying Super Vegito needs the crits, but I'm saying your whole premise is building the crits, right? If you're getting the crits, then you're going to nuke fucking type disadvantage with your, I don't know, Future Gohan, who's really not that hard-hitting of a unit, right? At least early on. But you're building around an RNG-based idea, and I just don't see the value in that, because why would I build around RNG when I can build like a Goku Vegeta who can do 60% of my health on a blue card in 3 timer counts of a match, right? Like, there's no reason to build a Super Saiyan team when there's other situations of teams that just have easier value and easier usage at that point, because Super Saiyans You know when someone's going to swap, you know when they're going to do this, you know when this is going to happen. It's not hard to predict the Super Saiyan team because you know they want to swap into their other Super Saiyan, their powerhouse, then you predict that, then you kind of like drop combo, you do this, you do that, whatever. You know what's going to happen at that point, right? Kid Buu, very good unit. Overrated, for sure, but does not mean he's bad. It's kind of like, I don't know. A lot of people are overrating FSK as he's still Z tier, but he's not. Like, he's great. He's not terrible, but FSK is definitely starting to fall off. Kid Buu's kind of in the same boat. On release, he was good beyond belief. I do think he has fallen off a little bit just because of how squishy he is. Yes, even at 14 stars, he is going to be squishy as fuck. More squishy than Krothon Masu because he builds up his tanking, right? Kind of like Maj Vegeta, LF Super Saiyan 4 Goku. They both build up their tanking. Kid Buu does not. He just wants to vanish. And while that's great, it's like, is that going to save you in every single scenario of your life? No, because if you don't have that, you can get one-shotted by pretty normal units, pretty average units. Like, Kid Buu's great, but I do see his value starting to diminish because of how only Vanish-centric he is, and he has no real tanking behind him, which, again, other LFs that are similar, Krothon Masu, has the damage and has the tanking with him. Again, very good situation for Masu. Corrupted Masu. Then Vegito Blue. Vegito Blue, I've been running him, and I ran him on that Patara team. He's still good. He still does good damage. I don't think he ever really will lack if he's, you know, high stars, but he's obviously fallen off. He's starting to fall off even more, but he's a good brain dead unit, I guess, if you want to do just multiple strikes. Not a terrible leader, but I mean, you know, there's better options. I mean, I don't think number 4 and 5 are really considering leader at this point. I think number 1 and 2 really consider leader. Then 3, 4, and 5 is kind of like, who's the best of this color, right? Let's keep going, though. Huh. Interesting. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta number 1, Super Saiyan 2 Goku number 2, Goku Black, well, Zamasu, Rose Assist number 3, Broly number 4, then Transforming Goku Black number 5. Okay, let me touch up on this. So Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, I agree. You can throw him anywhere, he'll look like God. Straight up, that's just how simple it is. It's easy, right? No disagreements. I agree. Super Saiyan 3 Goku. You throw him on Saiyans, right? And Saiyans is still a top tier team. I don't think Saiyans has fallen off. I do think Saiyans maybe is lower because of how good you can build, let's say, a future setup with Goku Vegeta as leader. Then you just build, you know, the other new units with obviously the Zamasu, then Sword Hope Trunks. Then boom, you're set. Then like future Gohan and whatever, right? I do think Saiyans is still top 3 though, with that even being a thing. So you have both Green Saiyans here that are both powerhouses and carries of their team. It's pretty obvious why they're up there. You know, disregarding leader or not, they're still the greatest Greens in the game. Zamasu, Rose Assist. Now, I've said this, that I think they're going to fall off after this boost system because essentially what this boost system is doing is they start losing their tanking after timer counts, right? But with the boost giving them pure defenses, it's almost like they never lose that tanking that's meant to fall off, because you think about it, you're getting 15% of pure defenses, and you have what I believe they have 40% cut that fully falls off after certain timer counts. Well, that 15% of pure, if you have, you know, defensive buffs, which obviously you're going to give your defense type defensive buffs, it's about equal. So you're really never falling off with them, with the boost on top of your defensive equips, because again, you're building them defensively. So right now, I do agree they do have more value than Broly, with Future being probably number 1 team in the game, but I do think they can fall off very quickly. But again, right now is what we're talking about. They are very, very fucking powerful defensively. If I'm going to run them, I'm really not going to take any damage, and it's going to help me just eat. And they do have a good Dragon Ball Destruction on their blue card. You know, remove Vanish on their green card. Main ability gives them more healing. Like, you have a lot of sustain with this unit, and it's a very busted system for this character. Given, again, I do think they will fall. For now, they are goated. Broly seems very unique. I like his multiple dimensions he can have, but in reality, you're really only seeing one dimension. Like, I'm barely seeing Broly, right? And there's 2 reasons. There's better teams to run, and you don't really need him. Now, he does good blue card damage. He does stack card draw speed. He kind of like is the green transforming Kid Trunks, based to Super Saiyan, where he can build up his card draw speed on strikes, right? So he's building up card draw, he does strike, but card draw per strike used, and then you want his blue card to kind of nuke. Again, that green Kid Trunks, maybe more like Drip Trunks, I guess. Their blue cards are going to nuke. And the only thing he's kind of missing is if he had that sub count up thing. He doesn't get that Broly. If he did have that, then you could like go into a strike into a blue, or like into a blue off a switch. Then he'd be cracked beyond belief. But right now, I do feel like you don't really get to see his second unique fully engaged because he doesn't. Well, I was gonna say he doesn't eat that well. He doesn't eat perfectly, right? Like he's not eating like Zamasu Rose Assist, and obviously he shouldn't. He's a fucking strike-based unit, right? But if he did have, let's say, 10 to 20% more cut, I could see him as a big threat. Right now, though, that second unique of, okay, he's going to build up his blue card damage, he's going to build up his strike damage, he's going to heal from their enemy using a green card, like, that's okay. But then when you think of, oh wait, this best unit in the game can literally one card this Broly, it's like, it kind of sucks. Like, he can't one card Zamasu Rose Assist. He can't one card Gogeta 4 because he has 80% cut. He can't one card Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And I'm obviously referring to Gogeta. I was obviously referring to Goku Vegeta. They can't one card these other three. But Broly, yeah, he's very good, but comparably to what the game needed him to be, he's not what was needed. Like, I could easily run Drip Trunks and Broly and not maybe say they're comparable, but I could at least see an argument where, like, they're not that far off. And I don't think Drip Trunks is that great at all. But he's a good leader, at least Broly, because he has that Triple Z ability. Kind of like Zamasu and Rose Assist. And then transforming Goku Black. I do feel like... I want to say it, but I don't want to say it. I feel like there is a spot after the boost ends that transforming Goku Black is better still than the Zamasu Rose Assist unit, just all-encompassing as a green future unit. Right now, obviously, the better one is the Zamasu Rose Assist, but transforming Goku Black does do more to hybrids, which you're facing a lot of future Gohans, a lot of Sword Hope Trunkses. He's green. That matters, right? And doing more to hybrids, that's important. But he's just a beat stick, is the thing. He can have some durability with the healing, for sure. But Rose really is just a beat stick. He has a nice ability for a leader slot as well. Double attack, and I think strike defense or blast defense, one of the two. As a leader slot unit. But I do think the fall off between number 3 to number 4 and 5 is vast in every single one we looked so far. Maybe 4 to 5 here, but 1, 2, 3, and then compare 4 to 5. It's really a big difference in my opinion. Purple. Super Vegito. Now, Super Vegito is the ability. Probably is why he's doing this. 14 starts to giving HP, and then what? Strike, attack, and defense, I believe. So, very good leader unit. To put him above Goku Vegeta is interesting. I would say Goku Vegeta just all-encompassing as a unit. Shits on Super Vegito, and that's fine, right? I'm not like, oh my god, one of these where it has to be Super Vegito is number 1 because he's the LF everyone loved and he was so great on release, blah, 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 blah. No. You could just admit, Goku Vegeta is better. Now, with this, I don't know how much they're valuing the leader slot, and it doesn't seem like they're valuing it too much, because I'm looking and it's like, who's that overvalued here? I would say Goku Vegeta is number 1. Super Vegito should be, I would say, number 3. I think Revival Gohan has a better usage than Super Vegito. Again, I do think Super Vegito is great, but Revival Gohan's just better as a unit, all-encompassing. But leader slot, I'm thinking leader slot, Super Vegito's better, but unit-wise, Revival Gohan's just a better unit. Yeah. Rose above Merge Zamasu. I get it. Truly, I do get this. I'm not going to be surprised if I see, like, Yellow DKP above Evolution Blue Vegeta for Yellow. Like, I wouldn't be surprised because that null endurance, right? And every match, I promise you, is probably future, if not something close to it, where you're running into Sword of Hope Trunks and future Gohan. You need this null endurance from, Goku Vegeta have it, but more from Rose, who has it fully. Yeah, I would rate Rose above Mirzamasu for this current meta, just because of all the endurance. I don't fully disagree with anything here. I would just say Goku Vegeta swap, Rival Gohan. Goku Vegeta swap with Super Vegito, then Super Vegito swaps with Rival Gohan, and then that's pretty accurate. Leader-wise, you're always going to bring Goku Vegeta because they are the best purple in the entire game. That's just how that works. Like, I don't think there's a debate between any other purple in the game. They are Z plus tier, while every other unit below them is Z tier. That's how I feel of Goku Vegeta. And then let's see here. Yeah, literally called it. Oh yeah, full power Frieza. Yeah. Anything that nullifies endurance, man, you see the value. Their value went fucking 10 stocks up. I mean, 1,000,000 stocks up, honestly. Future Gohan, he is the best support in the game, probably. Super Vegito is kind of close with how he's building up support when the enemy uses a card. Future Gohan does have to be hit for his support to start building up, but it's so much of a bigger difference. He's giving 50% with him taking one combo. 50% is fucking massive, right? Let's say they double tap attack you, or double tap blast, whatever, and it's a combo reset each time. That's 100%. You'll see any unit in the game nuke all Future Gohan support if you just build them decently right with equips and stuff. Future Gohan, the best support unit, the best leader support unit in the entire game. And yes, I don't value him as a melee type. I value him as a support unit. He's a disruptor that supports, and that's what he does. He's not meant to kill somebody. He can if you like get that build up going later game. But by the time it's later game, I got my last man standing, sort of Hope Trunks I got to worry about. I got my Goku Vegeta who can still make a comeback on their own because they're cracked. Future Gohan is just a support unit at this point, which is fine. It's just, it should be acknowledged is all. Full Power Frieza, gonna just say the same thing with him and DKP. I am really surprised I left Piccolo as this high, by the way. Full Power Frieza, DKP, complete, nullify, endurance. If you complete, nullify, endurance, your stocks are high. That's all that matters. Legitimately, that's it. LF Piccolo, weird spot. I feel like he's a little overvalued here because obviously I don't run into him, but I just don't see it. I get it. He does nullify endurance on blue. He is a very nice tank. I'm assuming at 14 stars he's a fucking monster of a tank. But do I see his value over DKP in the meta of... I mean, Strike Regen is pretty nice with, you know, the lock-in Mirzamasu 2 nullify endurance units with Mirzamasu's main and DKP. I don't see LF Piccolo's value being over DKP. Maybe leader-wise, I guess, for Z ability, but that's it. I'd say DKP is just a better all-encompassing unit right now for what we're dealing with. Again, endurance is very, very prominent. And then Evolution Blue. These units kind of like Cell. You don't see Cell on this list, LF Cell, obviously. You don't see Evolution Blue very high. It's because you're not running into Revival, and units that have this anti-Revival built into them, they're not getting their values worth, right? I'm not running into Rival Gohan, so yes, Evolution Blue is going to be lower than Full Power Frieza, then DKP. So people are wondering, like, why is he so low? Like, why is he number 5, not number 2? You're not running into the thing that's making him amp, right? You want Evolution Blue to kill Rival Gohan and then go neutral for 30 counts and then have 2 Dragon Balls, right? You want that, but that's not happening. Sure, I can 2-card a Goku Vegeta, that's fine, but his full thing, his full effect is anti-revival in that type neutral that he can just manipulate. And honestly, Vegeta can just probably 1 blue card in this Evolution Blue Vegeta, so it's not like his value is just that crazy. It went down because all the anti-revival already existing, he is not that top tier option for it. Given he is a very good option for anti-revival, it's just sort of Hope Trunks is just a better unit. Goku Vegeta is just a better unit, and their anti-revival is just as good, if not a little bit better, than Evolution Blue Vegeta's, because they don't really need the type neutral Goku Vegeta because they can control their own type neutral advantage or disadvantage at will. So them just gaining 2 balls, destroying 2 balls on their anti-revival is enough because they can already control the flow of a match with typing, because again, they can swap colors at fucking will, which is insane. But yeah, I think this is pretty accurate. You know, I make some changes. Obviously, every single fucking list in the world, I'm going to make some changes to because I don't agree with anything wholeheartedly, because my experiences are going to be different than this guy's experiences. While I'm trying to understand this guy's experiences as a Japanese player playing against different players and at 14 stars, still got to throw in my own opinion of it, obviously my mix of it. But Let me know what you guys think of this. I would say, overall, the most surprising thing is probably Red Gogeta still being relevant in Japanese players' minds. I would say his value is just null at this point. There are better units than him, and there have been better units than him, but hey, that's just my take. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one.